Hi guys, in this video I want to talk with you about something that in my humble opinion will save this planet. It is something that is so powerful that it can change your whole worldview within a few hours. The talk is of transpersonal states of consciousness and DMT. In this video I will explain to you why this is probably one of the most powerful things you will ever do in your entire life. Why one session is often more healing than sitting in psychotherapies for years and years. And why even people who meditate for 10 years often don't have these breakthroughs like people experience in transpersonal states of consciousness. And lastly, I will also give you my personal opinion why I believe this will save this planet. Let's start. So what are transpersonal states of consciousness? They're also often referred to as transcendental states of consciousness, altered states of consciousness, non-ordinary states, holotropic states of consciousness, the intangible. The interesting thing is that all these states seem to link and have one thing in common, and that is DMT, dimethyltryptamine. We always have this in our brains, but in very low doses. But when we die, this is synthesized in a substantial amount in our brains. And science says that people who have near-death experience and who experience all these meetings with God, leaving their body, seeing huge rays of light, science says that this is because DMT is released in our brain. And they even termed this and phrased this the God particle or the spirit particle. Now the interesting thing is that you don't have to die to experience DMT. You also don't have to almost die. The amazing thing is DMT can be experienced in transpersonal states of consciousness. There are a few modalities out there that make us reach these DMT states. And in the last few years, this has become my area of specialization, and I traveled extensively all over the world to experience many of these transpersonal modalities. So what are these? Namely, they are these are a few: breathwork, psychedelics, plant medicine, consciousness lights, floating, dark rooms, and so on. And I already recommend you to subscribe to this channel now, because I will upload in the next few days and weeks to come a video about every one of these modalities to experience for you. But for now, I want to focus on something else. In this video, I want to tell you why I made actually such an effort to experience them so extensively. And for that, I have to explain you something. I see myself as a bridge builder of the two sides we have: the rational, the tangible, the logical, the materialistic side, and the spiritual, the intangible, and the side of going inwards. However, in our world, it's very, very imbalanced. Our world looks like that. We are super rational, but we neglect and we suppress the spiritual inside of us. It's not, in most people in the Western world, it's not even lived to a small extent. Now we have two problems resulting from that. The first one is telling rational people about spirituality is not really effective. Because in the end, words are a construct of ratio of our intellect. But these intangible states, you cannot explain them with words. You can only directly experience them. The second problem we have is that many spiritual practices, they take patience and time until they really pay off and show some deep, deep results. So with meditation, for example, it takes time until it shows some impact. I wrote a guide recently, many of you know that, but even then I try to make it as quick as possible. But even for that, I need at least 21 days to really make this a habit and create any impact on you. However, for most rational people, time equals money. And so they're not willing to give you 21 days. And that's exactly the beauty of transpersonal states of consciousness. They have the power to take over and to directly make us experience the intangible and this other spiritual side inside of us. So within a few hours, you will experience the spiritual and this incredible world there is apart from reason and your intellect. You will realize that your current worldview of reason and logic and science is not enough to explain your world anymore. And so I literally saw hundreds of people being radically transformed after having just one transpersonal experience. And I also saw hundreds of people being healed, because again, it's not about talking like in psychotherapy, it's these direct experiences that makes you see, feel that there's something beyond the intellect that you maybe always felt but never could experience before. And many of today's chronic mental illnesses are in fact because of this split, because of the rational and the spiritual, because the spiritual is so dulled and repressed within people. And so they just identify with the physical, with their bodies, with their appearance. And once you then realized, wow, there's so much more to this world, there's so much more to me, it is so incredibly healing. A transpersonal experience is so very powerful because it shifts your awareness solely on the spiritual for a few hours. Transpersonal basically means something that transcends the person, your identification of your body, your name, and all of that. And you will realize when you step out of that, when you see this other world, how much more there is to experience. So you start to realize that the materialistic worldview is just one side of the coin, but on the other side, there's a world beyond imagination. You realize that nothing is separate, everything is interconnected. You get a glimpse of something that is so big, so intelligent, so incredible that it is absolutely indescribable for your reason. It's like a huge web of energy that you are a part of. And that's also super humbling, because in that moment you realize, wow, I actually don't know anything about this world yet. The world is a mystery. And often in the West we have this arrogance with our just 300-year-old science to think we have figured everything out. When you have a transpersonal experience, you will realize we don't know nothing yet about this world and what's really going on. And so one transpersonal session can sometimes be enough to be the initiation to really heal yourself and to wake up. But now don't worry, after a transpersonal session, you will still go back to your ordinary view of reality. So you will still go back to your rational worldview, but something inside of you has changed. You have seen the spiritual side. You have seen that this is an essential part of this world. And so it opened up some space, it withdrew reason and gave it its real place back. And so now you have space to grow this other side within yourself. And that's the beauty of it, because I believe you can only want something that you have seen before. And now you have seen, now you have felt it clearly for yourself. And once you have seen this giant web of energy, the light, consciousness, God, the spirit, no matter how you want to phrase or term that, once you've seen that, your whole worldview will change. It is because of this realization that I saw in people and that I saw in myself that I want to guide people into that I want to show people who they really are. Because I believe that this will save this planet. If every CEO, every leader, every politician in the world would have a real, authentic, transpersonal experience, the whole world would change. Because again, once you've seen it, your whole relationship to our environment, to our nature, to the separation mindset we have is going to change. And that's exactly what we need, and that's precisely why I do this work. I believe change does not happen in the White House, in some EU parliament, or in some ivory tower. Change begins with the individual, with you. Thank you for listening. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. If yes, please leave a comment, let me know whether you already experienced transpersonal states of consciousness, also the type of modality you may be experienced. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. In one of the next videos, or in the upcoming videos, I will actually make a video to each and every one of those transpersonal modalities. So stay tuned and have a beautiful day.